A big name there going down as we look at a classic matchup on paper. Joe Turpel alongside former CT standout Rosie Hodge. And it's an all T Street, lower trestles, everything going on in San Clemente Heat going on with the Gudauskas brothers and Griffin Colapinto.
Just so well, so they're going to know each other's game as they go blow for blow.
Taking first wave is Tanner Gudauskas. Already has some speed, front side air, lands with the lip into a foam climb snap. Already a fun start to the matchup. Such a powerful surfer with a solid air game. This he reforms impossible, and he kicks off with the lead.
Nope.
You have roommates traveling together, having to have a heat together. How'd you like this air?
I like it. You know, he says to himself, I'm going to have to differentiate myself from these guys in the water. We know Griffin has been throwing down some huge airs. We saw Patrick Gudauskas in one of the first heats of the morning also open up with an aerial maneuver. So on his forehand, the only goofy footer in this.
Watching them qualify for the Dream Tour. Here comes Griffin now with the answer. Nice smooth speed float. Late hit under the lip, and he tries to fight for the finish.
He does that.
Coming in for Tanner's start. Let's see how close Griffin came to this big finish.
Well, two big maneuvers on the outside generally get you big numbers, and Griffin knows that. Throwing it up, you hear the crowd. They say he stood up and completed that move, and then going down to that whitewater section.
A little bit of both in the last couple of months, and got to experience that and get back to this and get back to grinding, yeah.
Yeah, well, we love to watch the grind. You've been on a roll. Congratulations, and we can't wait to see you in the next round.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, Michael, well, good luck, and we'll see you there.
Thank you very much, Strider. Mikey February, it's just a pleasure to talk to one of the coolest guys you'll meet behind the scenes representing Cape Town, South Africa. Once again, he had a matchup with Jordy down at Jeffreys Bay as we watch this last wave for Pat G.
Well, Pat G, using that formula that we've become so used to, putting his own style to this wave. He's only surfer that hasn't got a score to his name, so we saw that quick start for him in the previous round.
And we saw him make a debut at Snapper Rocks soon after. Having a look now, Pat G, big whip on the back end. Second turn, nice and solid. And throws up a third maneuver before it goes flat.
Out there is that you want to win this event, and Patty G was not shy in saying that his intent for this event is to win. With turns like that, Joe, the way that he's linking it together, it just shows me that he's really turned up at this event.
In Pro Junior quarterfinals. Digging in now, Tanner Gudauskas. Big wind up, crab rail, throw tail reverse. And going for a radical maneuver.
Okay, okay.
Fireworks thrown down even with the incompletion there. Here comes the wind up from Colapinto, tail high reverse right next to Tanner, almost pulling it off.
Wow, so like, hey, just like take it down a notch. Or the Griffin, in the same breath, is just, he pulls those off in his sleep. So that's the scare factor and the wow factor that Tanner can bring to this lineup too. Let's just see what goes around this grab rail nose pick. I mean, he'd ride out of that more often than not too in a free surf, so it's not.
There's no injuries. It's up to the commissioner to decide those. As we now look at the left here, setting up for Pat Gudauskas. Great first turn, and now looking for the reform. Trying to find some energy. I love how he faded and found the pocket just to square up that final maneuver.
Yeah, Patty on that wave, using his priority.
Yourself in the heat of the moment. So I think they're just trying to let their surfing carry them both all the way. How'd you like Tanner here?
Wow, choppy wave to work with on this right-hander. See that sea breeze that we were chatting about, just kicking up a notch and making it pretty difficult out on the open face for Tanner to really sink his teeth into this wave. Knifes that inside section, gonna drop that 1.0, and then Patrick Gudauskas on the left, using his priority, flows the tail around. Good timing and connection with that section. wow, just does so well to dot the I's and cross the T's on that wave.
What a special wave.
It's every man for themselves. You know, we're looking at Griffin getting a good wave right here. He's got a huge score on his hands, so it's going to be tight work here, and it's so exciting to have the San Clemente crew in the house, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in San Clemente tuning in, so it's a great battle on hands. And oh, Griffin just got a great wave. So it's game on. It's anyone's ball game. They all have pretty similar scores, and I hope my brothers can make it because I know how hard they've worked all year, and at the end of the day, you just got to be proud of your effort, and they're serving good heats right now, so it's on.
I'd love to throw Dane out as a wild card, a wave like Chopu or Cloud Break, and just to mix it up, as we see what Griffin did on this wave.
Wow, this is the great wave Dane was referencing during that interview. Griffin, this is the solid opportunity he was hoping for. Just, wow, what a powerful kid, and the way that he negotiates that section. We talk about how ugly that inside can get, and that was one of those sections, able to cheer on these surfers and give them words of advice if they open to it.
As we see Tanner up and out, used priority on that wave. So that was unfortunate for his campaign since he's the one needing a score.
The same opportunities. He also fell a handful of times, so they both could have maybe found ways in which they could improve their approach. And let's see if Griffin does improve his situation with this wave.
Griffin using priority to hold off Tanner Gudauskas. Starts off with a little rotator out the back. So he still has an effort to improve on a 3-1-7. Blowtail towards the beach, but he's in the flats and he's gone down. With 14 seconds to go, Tanner's getting a little bit of a shot here. Small wave though. First turn on the backhand, he needs to hope for a miracle reform. Already hearing the buzzer sound as he's into his finish. The wind up off the buzzer will take him down into the double up. And we will see Griffin Colapinto and Pat Gudauskas move on to the round of 16.
Well, I can't wait to see all that is ahead of them for this event. I think they could be two guys we see on the podium come finals day.